Let's get started right away. Clover Health had surprising news today about a leadership change. It turns out that the chief financial officer, Joe Wagner, announced that he is leaving the company on August 13th, as shown here. Okay. Normally, hearing that an executive is leaving a company is pretty startling to hear, but in this case, he is doing it based on personal reasons to take care of a family member. I respect that, and I do wish his family well. So what is Clover Health going to do since they have one of their leaders departing August 13th? Well, during the news announcement, they said that Mr. Lee Shapiro, a member of the Clover Board of Directors and chair of its audit committee, will lead the search committee that will oversee the process to replace Mr. Wagner. At the end of the day, maybe this change in leadership could be beneficial to the company in the long run by getting fresh eyes on the finances. We know that the company already had recent appointments, for the Chief Growth Officer, Pradip Singh, and Chief Strategy and Development Officer, Justin Joseph, that I mentioned in my previous video. So I believe that Clover Health will again bring in top talent for the replacement, and that will only help the company grow even faster. And when you look at this stock at its current price, I again only see growth and opportunity, as every day that it dips, I go in, average down, and buy the dip, because I know that Clover Health at its heart is a long-term growth company. But we do have something special here, kind of like the cherry on top. We still have the potential for Clov to short squeeze or even gamma squeeze, okay? And when we think of this long-term potential that this company has, we search around and read articles like this one, right? Where it asks, is Clover Health a Warren Buffett stock? They ask this because it has potentially key elements that Warren Buffett looks into for companies. That key element is if the company has a strong moat, such as brand loyalty, difficulty switching to another product, and profitability from being stolen or eroded by competitors. So when we look at that, I believe that Clover Health does have a pretty strong moat. For example, it is actively taking market share from competitors in each county that it gets into. It also is unlikely for consumers to switch from Clover Health to another Medicare plan administrator because of all the paperwork that they would have to do. And also, why would someone want to switch since Clover Health has the amazing Clover Assistant, as that can help save people a good amount of money? The only downside, though, that this article mentions that could dissuade Warren Buffett from getting into Clover Health is its newness, okay? Usually, he would want a company to prove its business model first. But on the flip side, that newness is a good thing for us investors, as we can get very close to the ground floor of a hyper-growth company like Clover Health. And speaking of the ground floor, we are going to look at the current price and the price movement for Clover Health. So today was a red day, and about 30 minutes before open, we actually saw an uptick of volume where this stock dipped and the RSI showed that it was oversold. Okay. So when I was watching that and seeing it reached 809, I was intrigued by how the rest of the day is going to go. We did get a bit of an uptick, though, and we finally opened up at $8.30. And that was actually an overall decrease from 38 cents from the yesterday's closing of $8.68. So after a few minutes of opening, we saw this stock rise, and it reached the intraday high of $8.73. And that was really good push, but unfortunately, it didn't last too long. We saw this stock start to fall, and at 10:19 a.m., it unfortunately passed below the VWAP, leading us down to the intraday low of $7.95. That was actually the lowest we have seen this stock since June 2nd, which was a couple of days prior to the run-up to $28.85. And hats off to everyone that saw that opportunity to buy the dip below $8. I was in the official Subreddit Discord, excited as everyone else was to pick up some shares and ride the potential wave upwards. And sure enough, we saw that stock rise and increase. We had a ton of green candles that pushed this stock to be right above the VWAP level, kind of right in that area until the closing of the day at $8.26. But we did not stop there. In the after hours, we rose 1.69% and ended up at $8.40, which was even higher than today's opening. So great news all around, and I hope that we found the stock's bottom at around $8. And when you look at the volume for the day, we had 29.13 million for the volume, and that's about 3 million more than yesterday's. But it is still pretty low compared to the average volume of 61.36 million. When we check out the order flow, though, we can actually see that there indeed was a large amount of outflow by about 1.79 million more than inflow for the stock, which to me is still pretty surprising, as I would think that more financial whales and institutions would be buying up the dip. Next, we're going to take a look at the short interest data for the day. And, if you're getting value from this video so far, please smash that like button for me. It really does help. Also, please ring the bell and subscribe so you can get notifications on my upcoming videos. In Ortex, we can see that the current short interest percentage of the free float is sitting at 27.68%, which is an increase, a very slight increase by 0.01% from the previous day. In general, that is still a pretty high short interest percentage of the free float. We can also check that the cost to borrow is sitting at 5.73%, with the max at 11.96%. The days to cover is currently at 0.78 days, which is an increase. And lastly, the utilization rate is at 87.18%, which is also a sizable increase from yesterday. So overall, pretty promising data that would help the potential for a short squeeze to occur. Now, we're going to check out the iBorrowDesk fee update. iBorrowDesk monitors borrow rates and availability using Interactive Brokers data. We currently see that there's a fee of 5.3% with 4.4 million shares available. And as I mentioned yesterday, with these current price levels, that's actually good that the fee is still pretty low. If we zoom in, we can look at what it was like kind of right before the big jump to $28. And right there on the 7th, we can actually see that the fee was at 3%, okay? And so in this sense, it actually is, okay to have a low fee. Next, we're going to take a look at option calls. As you currently can see right here, the blue ones would be option calls that are currently in the money. And that's about 3,700 contracts that are in the money for Friday, July 16th. So just about 370,000 shares. And if we scroll down, we can see that at the $9 price point, $10 price point, and $11 price point, we have a ton more contracts, but they're currently out of the money. But if we see this stock increase a lot and have a run up tomorrow, we could start a domino effect to get a squeeze going. So keep in mind that they want to push the stock below the $8 price point to get those 3,700 contracts out of the money. And so I'm going to hodl, buy the dip, and try to get this stock higher so that potentially something big can happen. At the same time, we can see from option Sonar, that there actually is a bullish sentiment for something to happen by August 20th. There is also a lot of traded dollars for that date. And right now we have, it looks like 11.91 million bullish to 1.59 million bearish. I still agree with this sentiment, and based on this, maybe we can expect for something to happen between now and August 20th. And when we look at tomorrow, July 16th, we can actually see that there is 6.78 million bullish and 4.95 bearish. So almost getting neck and neck there, but overall we can see that, again, this is still pretty bullish. Next, we're going to check out Ape Wisdom to see the trending stocks on Reddit in the last 24 hours. And as you can see, Clov is sitting at number 5. It's sitting at number 5, and that is still really high up on that list of stocks that are mentioned in the subreddits that are listed above, including Wall Street Bets, Wall Street Bets New, Wall Street Bets Elite, Stocks, Investing, SPACs, Options, and Day Trading. So those would be the subreddits that if you want to spread the word about Clov, that would be the place to do it. And of course, if you want to be part of this movement, I again invite you to check out our Clov subreddit page. Right now, it is 37.6 1,000 members strong, and we grew by 200 members from yesterday, and it still has great memes, due diligence posts, and discussion posts in there. So please check out the links below to check out that subreddit page. Also, for a limited time, if you want 2 free stocks valued up to $2,300 from Webull by depositing only $5, please use the link in the description below. It really does help out this channel as well. And if you like this content and want me to continue following Clov this closely, hit the like button, share with a friend or a community, subscribe, and have a great trading day tomorrow. You lucky people. Take care. Bye-bye.